what we got next. Again, appreciate y'all presenting y'all questions. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's been cool. If you got your one on your side that you want to ask, feel free.
Yes, sir. Mr. DJ Billy Bob, which track did you find most challenging to create?
This track. Honestly, I think that's gonna go with the Martin's Nightmare. We kind of touched on it about how I did like about 4 or 5 renditions of it, and I was kind of getting disheartened towards like the third or fourth version of it. I was concerned I wasn't gonna find this perfect sample to go along with it to like fit this vibe. And for me it was mentally challenging because I was trying to get out of that headspace when I was like, I'm gonna find it. I just gotta kind of keep looking for it, and then I think it might have been like a weekend or something. I got up and I just kind of like they had some new samples pop up on the website, and I clicked through a couple of them, and I was like, that's it right there, and put that into the track, put the poem on top of it, added some special effects, and next thing you know, we got Martin's Nightmare 3.0.
Oh my God, that was it.
Yeah.
You did do
You're
that.
calling it Dream Deferred, but on my end, hold on, I got the files right here. Let me see if I can pull this up. So there was Martin's Nightmare. Let's see. Ooh, there was a couple of them. There was Martin Nightmare 2.0. There was one called Survival. Let's see. Yeah, there was Martin's Nightmare 2.0, Martin's Nightmare like 2B, Martin's Nightmare 3.0, and then Survival, which Survival didn't really get used, so we just went with Martin's Nightmare 3.0. So I would definitely say that one was probably the most challenging one. I think all the other ones came together pretty I wouldn't say simply, but they came together a little bit easier than that track did, for sure.
Okay. Ms. Zumba Doc, thank you. Appreciate you chiming in. Appreciate you. Hope you and yours are all well. I know I just veered off to the left, but I want to give her a shout out. Appreciate you. We definitely did go through a few for Dream Deferred, aka Martin's Nightmare.
3.0.
That was a few different versions of that. Yes, sir.
Right.
But I loved it though, really, because I can only imagine it was sharpening your skills, and just to know that we can we have this relationship where we can go, nope, nope, almost, not quite, and then we be cool with it.
Right. And that's that 50-50 collaboration that, that's how you get the best track out of both artists is literally doing that, talking it out of like, oh, I don't really care for this part. Let's do something else,
Yeah. You didn't want to drop me as a partner. I didn't want to kick you out, and constantly, and I do believe it helped when we both during this process we constantly told each other, I'm excited about this. This is dope. This is challenging. So we both had that understanding, and that kept us, wanting to go forward. Like something is here,
Right.
and it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Ooh.
Let's see if we can move on to the next question. How long
See,
were you into music, and did you ever expect to use your music with poetry? You take that one first. I think both of us can answer that. But go ahead.
I think so. Yeah, easy. So as far as like being into music, like just listening to it, my parents tell me that, from a couple months, I was like, I would move my feet or bob out to like certain songs and certain artists, from the start. So for me, music's just, what you want to call it? Consciously, no, unconsciously, just been like a part of my life for this entire time. But as far as like making music, I'd have to say for probably a good 7, 8 years now. But like professionally, only about 4 or 5. Because
Okay.
I had this free online website that I could like make beats with. They were all garbage. Don't get me wrong. Like that was when I was learning. I was still trying to figure out. I was there trying to like I was hitting up customer service and being like, "How can I turn up the bass more?" And they were just like, "Well, you really can't because our software just doesn't allow it." And I'm just like, "No, you gotta crank it up, man." And it wouldn't let me. So then I was showing some beats to a friend of mine, and he actually after I showed him the beats, he got me the program that I'm using now. You know what I mean? And then like it blew me away from that kind of support that he showed me. And then I don't know, Lorenzo, if you watch this, man, I appreciate everything you've done for me, man. Everything. Um, he showed me that kind of support, got me the program, and it boosted my confidence. It boosted like my skill because I was able to open up into like more effects and more samples and more like turning up the bass if I wanted to.
Hmm.
And people that have heard my stuff from like the beginning know that like, I put a lot of bass in there. Most of the time I gotta tone it back because it's like it's too much. But as far as like using my music with poetry, no, I never would have guessed it. There was never would have thought. I was like, oh, I'll use it for like maybe a singer, for a rapper, or something like a poet. Like, come on, you gotta be joking. And then that night that we vibed out, man, like it changed my whole perception of it. And you can do this spoken word poetry and still have a dope track and have them come together as this work of art, more or less. You know what I mean? And to me, that was mind opening because it made me question like what else can we really do with music besides just singers and rappers and stuff like that. So it was a learning experience altogether for sure.
So, let me touch on something you just said. I'm thinking, and you correct me. Here's a question for you from me.
Okay.
Is your origin hip hop? When you started making music, is that where it started from? Is that like
That's
your
what I
base?
definitely that's what I tried to go for, right? I was definitely like a hip hop head. In high school, I was all like West Coast, like Ice Cube, NWA, Tupac. I was even getting into a little bit of like East Coast with Biggie and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Like it was it was weird seeing this like white kid from suburbia listening to all this like hardcore rap and stuff like that. So, of course, I definitely tried to like get into that culture and I made a CD and showed it to some people and I'll never forget this one guy that I showed it to. He was like, what kind of genre were you going for? And I was like, hip hop. And he was like, this don't sound anything like it. And I was just like, ooh, okay. That was like a hard reality check, but it was needed. You know what I mean? Because I had to reevaluate what I was really doing and what I really wanted to do. And I think from that point it kind of branched out from like, it's not hip hop because I don't know if the music I make would ever be really considered hip hop. I'd call it hip hop inspired because there's definitely like the grounding and like the base of it per se. But like as far as like the song itself being like, oh, this is a hip hop track, it's like Maybe not, you know. So, but yeah,
Okay.
definitely hip hop though.
Yeah, that was my question. Hip hop, I just don't see it going with my music. And I've crossed paths with several people over the years, a work setting or just, out just talking, whatever the case may be, and getting to know each other. They like, I make music, and the first thing out of my mouth is what type, what genre, right?
Right.
Everybody, hip hop. Like, okay,
They all want to be
can't
a
do
rapper.
nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't do nothing with that. Um, it's just not my lane. Like, have you tried, smooth jazz, R&B? It's like, okay. Um, so I do have a question that just came in. So let's address this.
Okay.
Appreciate you, sis. This is for both of us.
Okay.
Do you have a particular process that you go through before creating something?
I don't. I mean, for me, no, not really. You know, I don't have like a pre-making like stretch or anything like that.
You don't have to get your Starbucks coffee, put on your
No,
favorite jersey, your
literally
favorite
just kind
house
of
shoes, nothing like that.
jump into it. I mean, as long as like my mood's right and my head's right, then I'll just jump right into it, and whatever I hear, that's the vibe that I mess with for the day. You know, this is like the first track of the day is, oh, this one's gonna be real chill, kind of smooth jazz, and I'm just like, all right, well, that rest of the day is just gonna be kind of like real chill. I'll mess with some other like relaxed beats and stuff like that just to keep the mood through the day. Then there's other times I come home, you know, if I wouldn't say I'd be like upset, or if I'm just like really hyped or really like energetic, I'm just like, let's try and make like a EDM song or something like that. Something that is more just like boom, 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 just stuff like that.
Mhm.
You know, so I guess I wouldn't really have any like pre-rituals to doing this, but just making sure that like mentally I'm good to like, you know, make something and be there for a couple hours to get it going.
For me, we are the same in this way. My schedule has to be clear. My mind has to be clear. Um, if I'm going to sit down and do something, I have to be able to know that I got a few hours at least to get it started.
Right.
Okay, so with that said, do I have a particular process? No. I am one of the poets, and I gotta believe I'm not the only one. I don't sit down and make myself write or force myself to write. I don't wake up and say, I want to write a poem today.
It's just you don't
That
end up
process doesn't work for me. I can go weeks, months. I have gone years without writing. I'm okay with that. I write when my soul tells me to, which leads me into my book. My soul told me to. See how I done that there?
little like self-advertisement. It's cool, you know. Hype yourself up, my dude. Don't be ashamed.
I'll get back to it.
Okay.
That that's really it. I write when my soul tells me to. No ritual, no certain spot. I will add this. A lot of my poetry, it has been inspired by my favorite artist, Prince, and his music. and smooth jazz.
Okay.
Yeah, that music genre. Some of my poetry comes from there. When the stars and the moon is lined up just right, all is well in the world, right? There are times where
You talk about the stars being aligned like it's, it's like every 8 years the stars perfectly aligned to like create this.
so yeah, every now and again I am able to sit down and listen to my favorite genre of music, and it's it's like the music just sucks the my soul from my body into the music, and I space out, which means I will listen to the tone of the music, the instruments they're using, um, all of that, right? I will pick apart each sound in the music. And if it feels good in my soul, that may inspire a poem. Because when I'm in that headspace, mentally I start seeing visuals. Like, okay, I can write about that woman's, uh, mm, I can write about that woman, or I picture a room, whatever that vision is, then that may inspire something. So I hope that helps. But specifically to your question, particular ritual, no.
Yeah,
Just
that's
it,
enough for me too.
yeah, it is what it is. And I'm all right with that. Yeah. So how's your pen, by the way, Zumba Doc? I'm just saying. I remember once upon a time. Um,
Yeah, if you ever want to put some music to those poems.
she's a beautiful soul. She really is. Let's see. I'm gonna take on another one. What influenced you to name the track Martin's Nightmare, A Dream Deferred? Um, okay, I got that. This was a few years ago, and unfortunately, nothing changed. There was chaos. I don't remember what was the headline of the day. I don't remember, like someone being murdered by the cops or what was going on. I don't remember the exact headline, but I do remember being focused on the sign of the times, and Martin popped into my head. His world famous speech, I have a dream. We are not living Martin's dream. We're just not. Which gave me that first line. Martin's dream is a nightmare. I kind of played on that. Can't see the mountaintop, for its paved in bloodshed. He spoke about the mountaintop. I can't see the mountaintop, this beautiful destiny that we have as a people, because all of the fucking chaos that's going on outside. You know? Um, so that's where it came from, just the sign of the times, really. Now, I named it Dream Deferred. David gets a hold of it, and as he mentioned, he couldn't quite remember the title of the track. So he threw on Martin's Nightmare, which played off of my first line, which is magnificent.
Yeah, I
When
think
you sent me the track, I was like, he did what? That's what he called it?
It was just to
Okay.
keep up my own files straight, you know what I mean?
And that's what I started doing. I couldn't call it just, so we thought the same way. You gave it your name to keep track of your files. I added your name to the track so I can know, one, the name of the poem, and two, the name of the track. And I thought that was beautiful. So whenever I kept it, and every name that you added, it's a word or a phrase from the actual poem.
I'm not gonna call it buttered toast when it has nothing to do with toast. I mean,
Hold on, except for Vegas Nights.
oh, that was a
That's
different one though. That was
that
different.
that's a different vibe. That
But that was like a track that I had already had put together from a previous EP, and then you had heard that.
oh,
Yeah, so originally it had
okay,
the Billy Bob EP, and that was the sixth song on that track, I believe, or on that
okay.
project. And so when I had played it for you, you were really you fell in love with that Vegas Nights, Not So Golden, you know. And from
Dude,
there, yeah,
I was
because I
like,
think
yo, I can cruise to that track all by itself. So whenever I see the name or hear that track, the first thing I go to is me cruising down the Vegas Boulevard. Like, yeah, at nighttime with the lights lit up and everything. Yeah, that piece right there has its own. Yeah, again, it's a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful visual when I hear that track. So that's how uh, Dream Deferred got its name. Dream Deferred slash Martin's Nightmare.
right.
Okay, what you got over there?
Um, the one I think the last question that I actually have, it's to me, it's did you have any say in which poems were chosen or how they were delivered? Um, I wouldn't say I had too much to say in which poems were chosen because that was more on you of I was gonna make something to kind of whatever you had sent over. I was just trying to match that vibe because I don't know if we had done it reverse, I don't think they would have ended up like they ended up. You know what I mean? Because if you had tried to write something to what I had already created, you might get a whole different vibe or feeling, and sometimes you just you hear a track and you're just like, well, I can't really hear anything to it. I don't really see anything. I don't see a poem fitting to this track per se. You know what I mean? So to have
Yeah,
your track and then work in reverse of I got the audio, so now I'm gonna build the track around it. I think it just, worked out best that way. I
I
think the
will.
only
Go ahead.
sorry to cut you off real quick.
Go
I
ahead.
think the only thing that I really said was maybe getting some wave files or MP3s or something like that. That was the only thing that I think I really talked about with how they were delivered. Other than that, though, yeah, no, not too big right there.
I will. Here's something I do want to try though. I have written um, to some instrumentals, um, various artists, mostly Prince. Y'all might hear Prince. I'm just saying that's
Well,
my
I
man.
bet I could
That's
tell
my
that was
dog.
your shirt. I could tell that was shirt you were wearing.
Yeah. So that's my man. I have written, heard some of his tracks, of course, and those tracks inspired poetry. So it is highly possible for you to present a track to me. And actually, we've tried that. Nothing has panned out yet where you have sent me some tracks you've already made, and was
Right.
like, here, try this, and here, listen to these. Nothing has happened yet, but I do want to do
I
that
mean,
for the next
I got, I
project.
definitely got some more tracks I could send you. Some more. I know you talked a lot about like smooth jazz. I got a few things that I think I could send you. See if you'd rock with it.
Okay, I would love to hear it. And here's the beauty in that. I don't want to mess up your original track, but here's something we did do, right? In the making of shorts, you sent me like Vegas Nights, the one
Right.
you already made before me. I did the poem. No, no, we put it together, right? And then I asked you to like drop out one of the instruments in the song. Like, just strip it down for me. I just want like the skateboard part or the piano, whatever it was. I don't remember exactly what
Right.
example, right? You sent that back to me, and I was like, yo, that's the one. Now it has that smooth, mellow feel to it. Same track, but your original track had like, I don't know, for example, 5 or 6 different instruments going on.
Right.
I was like, take a couple of these out and then just leave me with the other 3 or 2. And I was like, yo, that feels good in my soul. And what happened? So now we have this one poem, but 2 times. We have the Vegas night one. Then we have the one that I came up with, which is Vegas Nights Mellow Smooth. Or it's the
Yeah.
mellow mix. The
The
mellow
mellow man.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we did that a couple of times, I believe. With
Yeah, we did
flaws
that
and
with
all, we did that as well.
Flaws and All, and then I think we did that with We See You too. So it's just pure acapella.
We See You is the original, just my voice, just a cappella, and then the one where you added the track to it.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a We See You, which is 2 times. Then there's Grand Design, which is called Flaws and All. That's what you originally came up with.
Right.
And then there's the Flaws and All bass mix, which I had a little bit to say in that. Like just far as the bass part. Because what you sent me, I can hear that bass in there, and I was like, ooh, I want more of that. So just send me the bass part. Then I went into my sound editor and I fooled around with the bass part. Yeah, man. And I know I'm not Teddy Riley, but that was fun. That was fun. Chopping up the bass, putting it in certain places. Yeah, that was cool.
You got to be your own like little producer for a minute.
Yeah, that was my 2 cents, bro. Um, is it Flaws and All where we got the whistle part as well from the movie?
I believe so. Yeah. 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 Because I think you dropped that into the bass mix. I don't know if it was in
Yeah,
the original Flaws and All
no,
or
it for the bass mix. Yeah, yes, sir. So
uh, real quick,
that was my
we got a comment that's asking if we gonna hear anything tonight. Did you want to play some stuff for her? Because I definitely got some stuff pulled up. We could.
You know what? Go ahead. I say, since this is the first project, our first track, if you have We See You queued up, go for it, bro. Um, I want to tell, do me a favor. Um, Yeah, go ahead and drop that. We also want to let you guys know where y'all can hear the rest of the CD, where you can purchase it if you wish, and social media and all of that. So we gonna fall back. Hopefully the audio is good.
I hope so.
You guys can hear it out there in listening and watching world. So go for it, bro. I'll fall back.
All right, let's hope y'all can hear it pretty well.